Joined now by the challenger for this Saturday's main event at Strikeforce. We're talking with Ronda Rousey, who will go up against Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Champion Miesha Tate. And Ronda, let me ask you first, how's training camp been going? How are you feeling heading into this fight?
Training camp's gone great. I've had the best training camp my whole career. No injuries. My weight cut has been pretty much flawless. I could make weight tonight if I wanted to, but we're going to take our time. I've been drinking as much water as possible, eating every day. God, is he really wearing skeletos? Miesha Tate's boyfriend's wearing skeletos right now. Yeah, that's funny. What else? Yeah, it's good. Everything's all good. I feel great.
Talk about the weight cut, because this is your first fight at 135. Was it a huge challenge for you to get down to 135?
No, it wasn't. We did everything very, slow. We've been planning this out like weeks in advance. I've been pretty much doing most of my training camp at only 6 pounds over because I wanted to be able to fight and spar and lift and do everything. I've been lifting the same amount of weight, doing even more sparring and everything else more at a lighter weight. I feel like just with less weight on me, my joints are better. I feel faster. I feel like my endurance is that much better. It's just, it's a great fit for me. So I'm stoked.
Cool. And during this camp, you trained with Nick Diaz, or I know you have trained with Nick Diaz in the past. I wasn't for this. Talk about how that went, and I'm sure you saw a different Nick Diaz than what the public sees.
Everyone loves to ask me about this. Why is everyone so obsessed with this? Yes, we trained one day. He's fabulous. He's very sweet, very soft-spoken. I really want to come train with them. I mean, him and his brother have been shooting me and Manny texts back and forth about coming down there. We've been talking about going up there, but I swear to God that my first call after this fight is I'm going to call him up and be like, I'm coming, I'm going to schedule this, but I didn't want to do it, before I didn't want to think about the next fight until I'm done with this one. So, yeah, it was a great experience, and I really want to learn some more from them, and I'm going to probably give them a call on Saturday night.
And let's talk about this fight with Miesha Tate. I know we've talked about this before, where there's a lot of, I guess, hatred. Maybe I don't know if that's an appropriate word between the two of you. And let's talk about where that comes from. Where from your side there? I mean, you're the challenger. Yeah, you're the favorite in this fight. But also talk about some of the, I guess, the animosity towards Miesha. Where that comes from.
Well, hate is a very strong word. And I wouldn't use that term. Yeah. Okay. I would say dislike. But I mean, I kind of poked and prodded her until, she started not liking me. So I understand why she doesn't like me. But, whatever. After this fight, and we actually throw it down and all that, I considered it resolved, But I'm sure she's still going to be butthurt about this for a long time because not only did I talk a bunch of game up before I beat her up, but then I beat her up in style in front of a lot of people. I wouldn't like anyone like that.
And a lot of times people trash talk to get into their opponent's heads. Do you think you've gotten into her head?
Oh, definitely. Every single time there's any kind of debate, I totally own her. And even in the betting odds, I totally own her, and I got more fans than her. I mean, she started Twitter years ago. I started it 8 months ago. I pretty much almost have as many followers than her. I think it's just, it's got to be a little bit intimidating, and that she's been doing this a long time, and I just kind of showed up in August, but hey, what's up? No, my turn. A lot of girls don't like competition,
And we've talked about this before, and I think you gave me a really interesting answer. If you don't mind answering this question for me again. Your fights as an amateur and as a pro, none has lasted, I think, longer than 48 seconds of the first round. Some people question your cardio and your stamina, not so much the fact that they don't think you have it, but because it hasn't been seen or seen any kind of adversity. But yet you gave me a really interesting answer before. Talk about how you think cardio is not going to be an issue for you the longer this fight goes.
Oh, well, when I did judo, my cardio was my biggest asset. I always... Excuse me. Hunger burp. It's just my stomach going, nothing. But no, that was always my strength in judo. Was I always kept that same pace all the time. And Ryoko Tamura, who is one of the best known judo players, she always said that you need to fight every 5 seconds of the match, it's the last 5 seconds of the match. And I always embraced that, And being American, the referees never really liked me that much. When I first started doing judo, my mom told me, she said, if you don't attack every 5 seconds, they give you a penalty. And it was a lie. I found out later, but I always fought like that. And when they added golden score, that is if you just know to score after 5 minutes, to add another 5 minutes. I was just always so excited about that, And even before I did judo, I was a swimmer. I was on the Junior Olympic swimming team and just placing in the states. And I've been an athlete my entire life. This is. endurance is not the least bit of my problems. It's my biggest advantage. And just because people haven't seen it doesn't mean it isn't there. You know, it's just like saying like, okay, there's no other side to the moon. It's just like a disc, you know, like, of course it's there, you know, but just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't there.
That being said, this Saturday, how do you see the fight playing out? Are you looking to end this quickly like you have your other fights, or are you expecting for this fight to go a while?
I expect every fight to be an all-out 5-round war, and that's what I train for. But I always aim to finish it as soon as possible. You know, it's better to, what did my Uncle Craig always say? It's better to have what you don't need than need what you don't have. You know, so we always over-prepare, and of course I'll go for the first opening I see, and it could be in the first round, could be in the fifth one.
And this fight, you know, the trash talking back and forth, you know, it's brought up a lot of hype for this fight, a lot of more interest in this fight. You win Saturday night, you would be the face of women's MMA. And just talk about what that would mean, and is that something, I guess, for lack of a better term, something you're prepared for?
Well, I think that Gina still is the face of women's MMA. She's the one going out and making movies and making people that don't know what women's MMA is aware of it. You know, like I feel like that just within the girls competing right now, I would become the most prominent one known to the MMA fans. But I think that Gina's the one still, you know, doing the work and representing us the most. But you know what? It'll be a big responsibility, but I'm ready for that. You know, I'm fine.
And one last kind of off the wall question here. And this was brought up during the press conference where talking about, you know, the attractiveness, the sex appeal of this fight between you and Miesha. A lot of people might be tuning in because of how you guys look. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say you're at the grocery store or you're somewhere with your friends and a guy goes up and hits on you and you don't want him to and he keeps going on. Do you kick his ass? Do you break his arm?
No, because I got jumped by a bunch of guys, beat them up, and they sued me for assault. There's no way that I can get in a fight that I'm not going to pay for it. You know, I've regretted every fight that I've gotten into. I've never lost a fight, but it's never been worth it, you know. So usually in a situation like that, I would probably, if they kept being persistent, you know, I would either say something and be like, yo, if you don't get away from me, I'm going to have to do something about it. I feel threatened right now, and if I feel threatened, then I can tell the police that this is self-defense. You know, I will preface it with like, because last time I got into a fight, I was like, look, if you don't let me go, I'm going to have to do something about it. Like, that was just it. So I will preface it with some sort of comment that I can bring up in court and then beat them up.
Excellent. All right, well, good. Ronda, congratulations. Thanks for taking the time with us, and good luck Saturday. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.